and welcome to MonoRants at the Movies, a podcast where we rewatch cult and lesser-known films and tell Metacritic and the Tomato Meter to go fuck themselves, because we love these movies anyway. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and head to toe in black holding a 4-foot puppet is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
I got a morph suit.
That's right, we're talking style, stages and swords with 2010's critically panned but visually gorgeous Bunraku. Just like last week's Ravenous and Perfect Creature before it, this episode is a bit of a genre mash, but we feel it's an underrated gem. I did mention ratings, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, Kira.
Yeah, it's got a shitty rating on everything. Critics really didn't like it for some reason.
IMDb has the IMDb rating is like 6 point something.
But doesn't that have like a really bizarre...
That's done more off user ratings.
Yeah.
Whereas Metacritic...
It's fairer across the board. Like, you've got a way bigger sample size to pull a general rating off of.
I generally find that my own taste aligns a lot better with the IMDb ratings than with Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic.
Yeah, well, they're, like, you've got critic reviews, and then you do have things like that we've seen with certain movies where you get, like, hate bomb critics.
Yeah. I don't think that this suffered from that.
No, this wasn't big enough at all to suffer from that.
The IMDb rating, as I say, is around 6 point something, 6.5, 6.6, I think.
Yeah.
And that's probably where I would roughly put it. On Rotten Tomato, it's 48 or 49% audience rating, but a 17% critic approval, and Metacritic has a 28%.
That's really
so
low.
It's really low, and I can see why.
Yeah,
especially
it's not
for like
the best story in the world. Like,
no,
you don't watch it for the story.
No, like I said, it's visually stunning.
Yeah,
this
the
film
story
is so
just
pretty.
there to give a framework to what is going on in this world.
Yeah, and I think...
Like, I understand that's fundamentally what a story's supposed to do, and I get that before anybody goes mad at me, but, like, you get movies that you don't watch for the story. It's kind of like porn.
Yeah, but...
This is intellectual porn. Okay?
Well, I wouldn't call it intellectual porn.
It's for your brain to watch and go, nom 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 nom.
It's definitely visually stimulating. But, I think it suffered really badly from critic reviews because they all just harped on about the lack of plot or the lack of characterization or
But it
bad
doesn't
acting.
matter that these aren't fleshed out characters. These characters are so hyper stylized that you don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
it's not important to the plot. It is not a plot driven movie.
No, the critic thing to me comes down to all the critics viewed it as style over substance. But for me, this movie, the style is the substance. Yes. That might not be taken as a compliment by film directors necessarily or whatever, but I think it's such a stylish film. It's so pretty. The action and the set pieces are so fun.
Yes.
That I'm willing to forgive a lot of the hammy exposition and the bad writing and the not fleshed out characters, because it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, but even like if you look at it from that perspective, if it had these super fleshed out characters, like, it's already quite a long film.
Yeah, it's 2 hours long.
If you had, if the main thing seems to be that these aren't fleshed out characters, if they took the time to flesh out these characters, this movie would be 6 hours long.
Yeah, it'd be way too long.
It doesn't need it. You know enough about each character to know what drives them and what their motivation is at this point in time. And that's all that is required of you as a viewer, is to have a vague understanding of who these people are, and then watch them do their thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of the characters are kind of archetype characters.
Yeah.
There's your samurai, there's your cowboy, there's your wizened bartender, who's
your voice of wisdom.
Yeah, there's your main bad guy, who's very arch, and his psychotic underling.
There's always a psychotic underling, and they're generally the funnest character in it.
Certainly the case in this one.
Yes.
But we'll get to characters in a while. But I think what gets missed by, say, a lot of the critics is at the start in the narration when the brilliant Mike Patton is doing the open narration. He says this is just a story set in this world.
Yeah.
It's not trying to say anything great or grand or anything. It's just, here's the world, here's a story inside it. Let's go.
It is the opening exposition dump, for lack of a better word.
Well, it is.
Is so beautiful. You start out with really traditional Bunraku figures. Bunraku is a 400-year-old Japanese shadow puppet art.
Yeah.
Not shadow puppet.
Shadow puppet.
It's these beautiful puppets that are manipulated by people in black morph suits, essentially.
Yeah, they tend to be big
around.
4 foot tall puppets that are highly stylized. Have highly stylized faces. And
if
stuff.
you don't get what I'm on about, if you've watched The Princess Bride, the monsters, in the swamp that dance and their heads come off and they swap heads around, that's Bunraku. That might be Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's Labyrinth. Sorry.
In
fairness, can you blame
fantasy stories all on
campy fantasy story from the 80s?
Yeah. Well, there's puppetry in the opening scene as well.
But the puppetry, what I love about it is, as they're telling the story it's basically of the evolution of mankind to where they get to a point where their desire to destroy has destroyed the world, and then there's almost like a reset. But as they're telling the story, it goes from these beautiful handmade origami puppets then to kind of stick figure puppets to animation,
2D marionettes,
to animation to proper. You can see it's full digital animation, and then as the schism happens and they revert back, the puppetry reverts back through the stages to being these handmade ones, and it's really lovely effect within the first 2 or 3 minutes of the film.
Yeah, no, the opening scene is
if you're not brought in by the opening sequence, don't watch the movie.
Yeah, if it doesn't pique your interest with that opening scene, and from what we've said so far, probably won't be for you, but it certainly is for us.
Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful film. It's one of those ones where if you're really, really tired, just whack it on and just let your brain have fun.
Yeah, there's not a huge plot to follow or anything like that. No. You can kind of dip in and out of it as well.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's good to kind of just knock on. But equally, it is a film that I can watch the whole way through and not have it lose my attention. But before we lose our listeners' attention, will we give them a short summary of the film?
Yeah, just before we start nitpicking on this.
So, in a world ravaged by war, where all firearms are banned, one man's brutal reign is threatened when a drifter with fast hands, a samurai with mean broom skills, and a bartender with a smart mouth team up to challenge the woodcutter and his 10 fearsome killers.
Sounds like Friday Night Out.
Yeah, and I could have gone for In a World, but just because it was so short.
Yeah,
but it's that's all you need.
It's basically tale as old as time. Man wronged by other man must seek revenge for honor.
One is for revenge, one is for honor, and one is for love.
Yeah,
revealed at various points throughout the film.
Yeah,
who is fighting for what. And as I say, they are archetypical characters.
Yes.
So their motivations are equally.
Yeah.
Again, I don't mind. I like a simple film. Like we talk a lot. I think we mentioned it when we were talking about Midnight Meat Train, that it's a bit of a popcorn film. You can check your brain out, and you will hear us use that phrase a lot when talking about films. We don't
mean that in a negative way.
No,
at all. And a lot of people may misconstrue it as that. No, there is nothing I love more than sitting down and being able to check out of what I'm doing in the world and immerse myself in another world for maybe for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And just kind of let my brain steep in that other world for a bit.
Yeah, I would very much be the same. I don't. So
we don't mean it in a negative context. Like brain movies that we describe that your brain can check out as generally a positive thing.
Yeah, we will be clear when we hate a movie.
I'm sorry.
We will be very fucking clear when we hate a movie, because we will say. But I love this film. So when I say that it's a you can check your brain out film, I don't mean it as a bad thing. I mean it as a good thing. There are different types. On that
because it can be confusing. Because there are, in fairness, with Midnight Meat Train, we love that film. We spent the first half of that we're shitting all over that film.
Yeah,
but we love that film.
Oh yeah, we do. So yeah, when I say check your brain out, I'm the same. I don't mean it's a bad film and you don't need to think about it. You don't need to think about it, but it's not a bad thing.
No.
There are films that I go to for, this will get me thinking, and this is real, deep or whatever, or this is real arty or whatever, and then there are films that I go to that are, to quote Robot Chicken, Mabas Bloom.
Yeah, Mabas Bloom!
I just want explosions and gunfights and
I want
fast
to shove
action.
Popcorn in my face and yell at the TV.
And it kind of annoys me that this film it's almost like the critics were holding it to a really, really kind of high standard, because nobody necessarily expects fucking rom-coms to have any deeper meaning or amazing subplots.
Oh my god, speaking of rom-com, I was recently reminded of the travesty that is Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal.
Yeah.
Oh, with
Gwyneth Paltrow in the fat suit.
Yeah, Goop.
Yeah.
Never seen it, thankfully.
Oh god, it's terrible.
I hate rom-coms.
Yeah.
I fucking hate rom-coms, and that may be typically male of me, but
this is just
they are the worst form of
awful.
cinema.
Yeah.
They're fucking dire. But yeah, like rom-coms will get, you know what I mean? Your average fucking rom-com will probably hit, like on Rotten Tomatoes might have, 25 or 30 or 40%.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, like fucking 50 Shades of Grey is out there.
Did you work in the cinema when that came out?
No, thank fuck I didn't. I worked in the cinema when the Twilight movies were out.
And that was bad enough. People kept attacking the Robert Pattinson.
Oh, we couldn't have any Robert Pattinson standees out.
Yeah, they kept getting stolen.
The only thing that was safe was the poster boxes, because they were locked. But yeah, like this, why couldn't this film just be judged on the merits of what it was? And there are bits where I do think, say, like the director thought that he was getting a bit deep and saying some things about, oh yeah, this is great, like exposition on the human condition. But no, if you listen to Mike Patton's narration, it's like, nah, this is just a story about some dudes who want to fight, like,
yeah,
and that's fine.
I kind of feel like this falls into this very same sort of niche genre as the likes of the Troll Hunter, where it's a bit of a weird little film.
The Norwegian Troll Hunter film.
Norwegian Troll Hunter.
Yeah, which we probably will cover as well.
Yeah, which is, it's a bit of a weird little film. It's very much a grower.
I loved it the first time we watched it.
The first time I watch it, I think you're taken in by the visuals, and then the second time you watch it, you start to see kind of all these other nuances going on in the world.
Yeah. I wouldn't say this has as much nuance as that.
But the second time you watch it, you can take in the fact that the way that the story moves and the way that the sets are designed is very much an homage to live theatre sets, for one thing. Yeah. And also those brilliant 1950s massive musical showcase movies like The King and I and things like that, but instead and the directors even say it themselves that that's kind of a feel he was very much going for, but instead of it being these massive song and dance numbers, they're fight scenes, and they're choreographed as meticulously as these huge song and dance numbers are.
There's two in particular, the kind
courtyard,
the opening courtyard fight scene, and then the fight scene with our two main characters in the square.
Both fight scenes that take place in the courtyard are gorgeous.
They are dance numbers of fight scenes, particularly the second one, because it's full of acrobatic fighters.
Yes.
But it's just, it's done so well. You can see, and I think that was one of the things I got criticised for, was that it was such a mishmash, because you can see the Western influence, you can see the samurai influence, you can see the musical influence. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily pull them all off always, but it does a more than adequate enough job for me to love this film.
Yes, and it's been very clever. Like, there's spots where, like, the phone call between number 2 and Eddie, where it's done in that theatre trick style of them having the almost sheer
opaque wall.
That's lit so that he's in another, you can tell that he's supposed to be in a different location. There's a lot of that going on, a lot of the way things are framed is very much done in like theatre style, where there's a forced perspective going on. It's a beautiful film. Yeah, no,
that's the thing that we're probably going to praise the most, is the visuals and the fight scenes.
Yeah. Kevin McKidd.
But it is just, the way everything is constructed and all the sets for like the town look like it's Japan by way of the Old West.
Yeah.
Like the houses look like Old West frontier towns smushed together like traditional Japanese, like the temples with the different levels. I can't think of the term.
I can't think of what they are.
But it kind of looks like they're smushed
together. With the little
together.
curved roofs so the ghosts slide off them.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like...
the fact that that's why they have curved roofs.
There's a lot of sliding doors and paper windows and all that kind of stuff.
And interestingly enough, every time somebody's thrown through a paper window, there's a sound of breaking glass. Which is really, really entertaining.
The sound effects in it are great. Every time Josh Hartnett's drifter character rubs the rim of his hat, there's the sound of a revolver spinning.
Yeah, no, they're the little musical stings that are put in. Every character has their own signature sound, and there's little refrains that you get throughout. The music in this is number one, insane.
But not insane in the way that it was in Ravenous.
No, insane in a good way.
Yeah,
the little stings and little like musical spikes and things like that through it.
Yeah, and there's
that just add to it. It's all beautiful dance.
There's parts that are a mish of like Western, like, you know, old spaghetti Western music. There's 8-bit music for computer games.
Yeah.
There's
there is very
music
much computer game style bits in it. With the little car chase and the Fiat 600, which I wanted so badly. I need it in my life.
Yeah.
It's the Mario kind of music where they're, you know, collecting bonus points and having near misses and things like that.
The way the world is constructed in this is as appealing to me as the world in Perfect Creature. But whereas the world in Perfect Creature was fleshed out through small visual details and then little bits of exposition and just things weaved in throughout it, what I love about how this world is built is literally how the sets are built.
Oh,
Everything just looks so fucking cool. Like, even towards the end, when they're like storming the fortress, as they're going through the forest, and all the trees are just these big paper mache trees.
Yeah, it is.
And there's hundreds of them. Like, it must have taken...
The set builders on this deserve a round of applause.
Yeah, the set decorator and the cinematographer on this film are
the production designer, everybody who worked on this deserves a massive round of applause and recognition for it, because it is. Yeah, it is. Stunning.
Anybody who worked on set design and anybody who worked on cinematography in this film, like, you know, round of applause, pool of us. You guys were MVPs for this film.
Totally.
Definitely.
Everything, the styling of it, everything. Number 2's suits.
Oh, and I just remembered, random interesting bit. The guy who was cinematographer for this film was also cinematographer for Glengarry Glen Ross.
Okay.
Yeah, and a ton of, like, a shit ton of other stuff.
Yeah.
But that was the only big thing that was the only big thing I recognised.
Yeah, the costume design on this as well, because number 2's suits are some of the sharpest suits I've ever seen in my life. That waistcoat that he wears in that final fight scene.
Yeah.
Is just,
yeah.
But Josh Hartnett's character is the drifter, and he's supposed to be that Western style drifter, and even the fact that he's in like the old style, like kind of looser shirt with the massively long cuffs.
Yeah.
With the suit, the coat, and then the long duster over it and the hat, and then when he's in the fist fight, he actually buttons up the waistcoat to the top so that you can't grab him by the shirt front.
Yeah.
The Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi is our samurai character. Our
samurai who is in a traditional... I actually don't know what they're called.
No, I wouldn't
I don't want
deign to hazard a guess because I'd probably be wrong, but it is a traditional form of like Japanese clothing. Yeah. And he's supposed to be from Japan.
Yeah, and he's extremely traditional in the way he's presented.
Then your bartender is just kind of
Woody Harrelson being Woody Harrelson, who just rocked up onto set one day and he said they just went, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's like that's how we came across this film, was we were looking up Woody Harrelson on IMDb and was like, what the hell is Bunraku? And
you're in it.
And was like, hey, shit, Ron Perlman's in this, Josh Hartnett's in this, Demi Moore is in this,
Kevin McKidd is in this.
Kevin McKidd, and that was it. I think with Kevin McKidd, we and Ron
massive
Perlman,
Kevin McKidd fan, and have been for a long time. Fell in love with him in Dog Soldiers. And cemented that love with Lucius Varenus in Rome. Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, so any time Kevin McKidd is in something, except for Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Or is it Eeyore? Whichever hospital procedural.
He was in Grey's Anatomy and the writers did him dirty, apparently.
Yeah, apart from that, anything that Kevin McKidd is in, I'm generally... Oh, and he's in rom-coms as well. Okay. I like certain Kevin McKidd movies, but I really like this one.
Yeah. No, he did, and he's put in the time and the effort because he did all of his fight scenes himself.
Well, he said he had to put in double time for this one because he basically had to learn how to dance and how to fight.
Yeah, and it is a dance, and it does.
His fight scenes in particular are very hyper stylized.
Yes.
Because he almost never draws his sword. And he's always fighting with
it's not a sword, it's a little dagger bit.
Well, yeah, he's got a cane with a dagger in the top of it. And then
number one, he has a cane with a fucking dagger in it.
He does some damage with it.
Yes, he does. He looks hilarious on the moped, though, with it. When he's got the cane tucked under his arm and he's like tooting along on his little like fucking Miata moped.
Yeah, well I suppose before we get too far into how much we love Kevin McKidd in Killer Number 2, we give a quick rundown of the characters. We've mentioned the Drifter already, who's
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, he's the Drifter who comes into town. We don't really find out what his motivation is until towards the end, but it's pretty clear.
He has some interesting facial furniture going on.
He does.
And he can pull it off. Not very many people can pull off a Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, no, he pulls it off pretty well. Yeah, a lot of people could just look like a sex offender with that facial hair. Yeah. But he pulls it off.
On the same train, you've got Yoshi coming into town on the same train as well.
Yes. Yeah, so there are two kind of blow-ins into town. Yoshi's looking for a medallion for reasons of honor, and the Drifter is
Looking
pretty
for-
clear.
Looking
He's
for
looking
a
for
card fight or card.
He's looking for a card
fight.
game, and he's looking for the main bad guy, who is Nicola the Woodcutter, played by Ron Perlman.
Oh, his hat! I want his hat so badly.
Ron Perlman is very, very fun in this right up until
The end.
not even the end, but everything to do with like the card game, and any other the rest of the time he's talking, I'm not into it. When he's giving all his like, the viciousness of man, and
I think he was trying too hard to be. I've completely forgotten the character's name, but Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now as the insane general.
Yeah, it's like he's trying. Yeah, he's trying to
pearls. You know, he's lived a long life, and he's tired of this, and he's the most powerful man east of the Atlantic. And you know, he's going to bestow the highest honor a man can bestow upon a woman. Number one, fuck all the way off with that shit. Highest fucking honor, my arse.
But yeah, it's like he tries to go for this kind of bad guy who is a warrior philosopher, you know, and acknowledges that he's the bad guy, but you know, it's just because he's the most powerful, and he has to. And you know, it's not about who's right; it's about who's left on the battlefield at the end of the day. And it's all very
wank.
But when he's just in the card game and not saying very much, and that side of him, yeah, is very fun.
Yeah, non-talky Ron Perlman is great.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily Ron Perlman's fault, because yeah, there's some terrible lines of dialogue. And
in fairness, he delivered all equally terrible lines of dialogue in Mutant Chronicles and made them believable.
No, he didn't. That's the film where he has an Irish accent for like 5 lines.
Yeah, and then he just gives up.
But there is, Josh Duhamel had one line. Why do I keep saying Josh Hartnett?
Yeah, you got to talk hard on for Duhamel today.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't think I've ever seen anything
Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the first Transformers.
But he has a line when he meets Yoshi's character for the first time, and Yoshi asks him who he is, and he says, a friend to some, a foe to others, it depends who's asking. And then Yoshi says, I'm asking, and he goes, well, it's none of your business. It's like, what a fucking stupid thing to say. Like, I'm sure it sounded badass in your head, like, but, you know, I'm either a friend or a foe. It depends who's asking. Well, you know, there is somebody asking. Well, you shouldn't ask.
Trying that in a pub in Ireland.
Yeah, it's the stupidest.
You get the head slapped off you for being a cheeky little shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to sound badass, but it actually means nothing and is really fucking stupid line.
You would actually get the head slapped off you for being a cheeky little shit.
Yeah.
The fight scene in the bar, the initial introduction fight scene with the Drifter.
And all the random people
the random
in the bar.
Gang, because apparently all the gangs in this watched The Warriors and took inspiration.
That gang in particular,
the acrobats as well.
Yeah.
Are very, very similar.
Yeah, there is, because you've got the red suit guys. You've got the
Nikolai's guys are like all red suits
all
and very
red suits.
like sharp looking, and like it is
red
full on
suits.
Red suits. And they've like the little bowler hats and stuff.
And the proletariat, the League of the Proletariat
are
guys.
all in like overalls and grey. They're
all very Bolshevik.
Do you know what? They actually all resemble, there's a couple of moments throughout it where they really do resemble the old propaganda posters.
There's the poster.
Those superstar, like, so the Pro League, because I can't say that word today.
The commie guys.
The commies, essentially, do look like, you know, with that 1950s style, you know, the cuffed jeans with the suspenders, with the denim shirt and the puffy paperboy hat.
Yeah, then you've got the acrobat crowds, and then you've got
who are dressed like insane clowns, which was a joy for me to watch.
Then these guys in the bar who are the Rebel Without a Cause Reject Club.
Yeah, they've all got like the goggles, and they all very much look like they were in Easy Rider.
Yeah, and what's weird to me is that the red suits are clearly like Nikolai's men.
Yeah.
But these guys jump on the Drifter for getting too nosy about Nikolai and mentioning Nicola. Are they just like...
you know the way... Basically, Nikolai... you can't have more than a gang of 20.
Well, no, that's the unwritten rule of the land is that you can't have more than a gang of 20.
There's nothing like more dangerous than melee weapons and like knives and swords. But they still have like
guns.
Trains. The technology's kind of limited. It's weird. Where am I going? I can't remember. Yes. Anyway, so you can't have more than 20 gangs. It's the unwritten, or people in your gang. It's kind of the unwritten rule. But Nikolai keeps 9 killers around him. Yeah. Who all seem to then have their own gang because he has a Red Army, which would be illegal under their own, not illegal, but like frowned upon by the rules that he has set down on
yeah,
the community.
It's kind of vague because
how it works, because there is a chief of police.
Because I was going to say there's a very ineffectual police force as well that seem to be in the world, and they just seem to uphold the normal law.
So
and then the red suits go around doing whatever they want.
The gangs seem to operate because you see them collecting protection money and shit.
Yeah, it's an organised crime thing.
Yeah, so they seem to almost be operating the way the Yakuza do, in which they have legitimate businesses, but they also do this stuff on the side. It's just...
And they're mob stuff as well, because they seem to have, like, they have their hands in the local elections and stuff as well.
Oh, of course they do.
And, that side of it is all a bit vague, and I suppose that counts... That's a point towards the negative critic reviews.
Yeah.
But it's not a deal breaker for me.
No, I don't care about
they
that.
Nikolai has such a stranglehold on the land that
actually,
the police have to do what he says.
If you love the Warriors, this is a great, like, stylized version of the Warriors, because it's all, instead of them trying to get home, they're trying to get to the bad guy.
Yeah, and they do have the various killers.
They do have to like level up.
It's like boss stages. There's elements of two films that were around the same time of Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, it does
Zombieland.
Yeah,
in that you get like a lot of the people are introduced with like pop-up cards and visuals on screen and stuff like that.
But they're all like on strings and stuff like that, and then get whipped up behind them.
Yeah,
it is done in screen, and it's like it doesn't matter if you can see the rope holding up the sign behind them. Like that's the whole point. Whenever
any of the characters are talking Japanese, the translation comes up in like comic book style.
Yeah,
writing on the screen. So it's got that kind of, it's like an old West version of the Zombieland or the Scott Pilgrim visual sensibility. And those two were both out, I think, in and around that kind of 2010 mark. But again, this is one that just I'd watch this over either, well, maybe not Zombieland, but Scott Pilgrim was
alright.
Yeah, I prefer this.
Yeah,
I definitely prefer this over Scott Pilgrim.
I find Michael Cera really annoying.
But we were supposed to be talking about the characters. Yeah. And we got distracted talking about Ron Perlman. So yeah, Drifter, Bartender, Yoshi, your woodcutter, Ron Perlman's character, and then you've got Alexandra, Demi Moore's character, who basically is
a concubine.
Yeah, a concubine, and you find out that she traded her life essentially to save the bartender's life. And became his concubine 10 years previous, and that her and the bartender had been lovers at the time.
Yeah, well, they have matching tattoos.
Yes, I didn't spot that at all. That was only something that I saw in the trivia.
Hers is far more noticeable than his, because they each have like half of a yin yang. So Demi Moore it's on their neck below their left ear. She's got the black side, which obviously is going to stand out far more than his, and he's also wearing a shirt collar. So.
And it's probably rare that I will say this, but they don't overly play up the love story thing.
No, it's it's nicely done. Like you get her resentment towards Ron. Like her resentment towards Ron Perlman is.
Yeah, you get loads of that and loads of Ron Perlman talking, but I could have done with a little bit more. The bartender only has maybe 3 or 4 lines in regards to his lost love. And it could have done with a little bit more of that, and that's what I'm saying. It's rare for me to be saying, they should have bigged up the love plot line.
No, what I found was it very similar to how in Zombieland when he's talking about having the puppy, and then they realise that the puppy is his kid. Yeah. It's the same kind of very stoic, this is the life I lead.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to talk about it with anybody. Kind of
the lines he does have about it are very much of a man who has accepted that this love is lost.
Yeah, he can never.
There's nothing he can do about it
against the most powerful man east of the Atlantic.
But there is a moment, very very briefly, where they meet towards the end of the film.
Yeah,
and that I thought maybe could have been fleshed out a little bit. No, not like Demi Moore is good and she's quite good with what she's given in this.
Yeah, I do enjoy when number 2's come in to speak to Nikolai.
Yeah,
and she's smashing the walnuts with the hammer.
Oh yeah,
and she just looks so satisfied doing it.
Yeah,
and her relationship with Kevin McKidd's character in it, because he fucking despises her.
Yeah,
is just that palpable a hatred.
Yeah, because he's
really strong. Like their interactions far more than hers with Nikolai. their interactions are interesting.
Yeah, and it seems to be a hatred born out of he views her as just Nicola's whore, basically.
Well, as we discover in this, he's got his own fucked up issues.
Oh yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's a sadistic bastard.
But it's the same thing, like she has Nikolai's ear.
Well, I think she has his affection and his admiration and his respect far more so than number 2 does, and number 2 does everything else for him.
Yeah.
You know, he keeps everybody in line. He runs the empire effectively.
Yeah.
But that's Kevin McKidd's character.
That's remarked upon by Nikolai. He's like,
later in the film.
Yeah, why don't you challenge me? That's the law of the land, is that you can challenge the number 1 to take over.
Well, yeah, you kind
in
of...
a duel.
You can work amongst the 9 killers that Nicola has, you can work your way up the ranks by challenging any particular number. And if you beat them, it's not unlike Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
That was the whole deal with the headbands.
I never watched Afro Samurai.
That was the whole deal, was there was various headbands and you could
there can only be one?
You could only challenge the number 1 headband if you had the number 2 headband.
Oh, it's like Pokemon, you needed to have the badges.
I never watched Pokemon.
Okay, yeah, that's alright.
Yeah, this could keep going for a while.
Yeah, I get it.
But the killers are great fun as well. None of them are fleshed out characters at all. They're basically just end level bosses to be defeated.
Yeah, with minions.
With various minions of their own. But they're great fun and they give us great fight scenes and great set pieces.
Yes. Especially at the end when they actually make it to Nikolai's place.
And then mirror versions of themselves, basically, to fight.
Yeah, and it does become kind of Enter the Dragon, where he's fighting his way up the temple.
Yeah.
It does very much turn into Enter the Dragon. The mirror fight scenes are just brilliant.
Yeah, they're done very, very well. I don't want to give anything away about them because they're quite fun.
It does the way this movie is very much has video game elements to it, in that you've got your protagonist, but the way the fight scenes are structured, is very video gamey, where you're moving up, you are leveling up against hires to get to bosses and stuff.
Two of the most fun scenes to me in the film are two of the biggest video gamey scenes, and they do kind of feel out of place because there's not a huge amount of video game element beyond the kind of the killers as bosses and fighting way up to the big boss.
Anytime that they're driving.
But when they're driving, you get this top-down GTA view, particularly the chase scene.
Yeah, it is very much, there used to be an old tabletop game. That was a driving game like that, where you had to move it on, it was like a little car painted on clear acetate.
Oh, yeah. I had like the cheapy home version of those,
Yeah, he's showing her age.
But that scene, and then there's a jail breakout scene that's very much framed as like a 2D platformer. And that's one of my favourite scenes in the whole film.
That is great fun.
Not only because it's
framed like a 2D platformer as well, but it's also very much framed like how a stage production would show something like that, like somebody progressing through a building.
Yeah.
If you think about like the likes of, even if you go to like old music videos like Jailhouse Rock, it's that kind of layout.
Yeah, it's the open side of a...
Yeah, it's the
dollhouse effect.
It's the cross section.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite scenes in it. Not least because it starts with a Faith No More quote.
Yes. Happy birthday, motherfucker.
Yeah, happy birthday, fucker. But yeah, those two scenes they're again visually really appealing, but they do kind of feel a little bit out of place in the rest of the film.
I will say that the prison breakout fight sequence really, really reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do you remember that level that we got stuck on for fucking ages? No. Do you remember that level that we got stuck on for fucking ages because we kept trying to jump over that gap when you just had to walk over it?
Yeah, everybody got stuck on that.
Yeah, it just really reminds me of that for some reason.
It's any 2D
just that
platformer.
one specific level.
That's because that's the one that you remember the most, but it's any 2D platformer.
I know it is.
That's just seared into your brain.
Yeah, because it was frustrating as fuck.
But where was I going? The
video game elements of it. Except for when they're driving.
Even the driving scene, the chase scene, they just stand out a bit kind of tonally from the rest of the visuals. As I say, they're really fun to watch, but they stand out a bit because the rest of it is so much based around stage productions and what you might see on a stage in a theatre. That the jailbreak scene, as you said, there is still an element of it.
Yeah.
But you'd never get a top-down car chase scene.
Can we shout out to the guy in the jailbreak sequence who was just coming out of the John and zipping himself up and didn't ask for any of that?
The very last guy.
The very last guy, who gets punched out and he's literally walking out of the toilet zipping himself up.
Yeah. The card game scene is quite fun as well.
I did like the card game scene. I like the fact that they all looked like fucking characters from Cluedo.
They kind of do, yeah.
Like, especially Boris. What was he?
Boris is like the union rep.
He looks like a Boris.
But yeah, no, the card game scene is fun. It's a bit cliched.
Also, that casino has the best entrance I've ever fucking seen.
The revolver barrel.
Yeah. I mean, you go in the elevator and it moves like it actually turns like a revolver would and drops you down a level.
Yeah.
And then there's the pistol shot when the door is open. It's just so good.
But yeah, no, it is. Everything visual in this film is just so fun, and just parts of it are just so unique. And I probably said it a bunch of times and we'll say it a bunch
Even
more.
the way it's lit, like like as they're moving through set pieces, different things will spotlight.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy use of spotlight and shadowing
for character interaction, especially like when he walks to the casino and he walks to the ticket booth, and then the cashier, when he asks him what's behind that door, and the door illuminates behind them because you haven't seen that door up until that point.
Yeah, no, there is. There's a lot of great use of spotlight and shadow and stuff like that throughout it as well. And the set pieces, the fighting set pieces are just so much fun. They're just gleeful. They really are. The big kind of dancey set pieces in the square are great. The one-on-one circus fight versus the samurai fight outside.
Yeah, and
with the Andre 3000.
The rain fight, because you've got two really different styles. You've got the brawler, and he is a brawler. Yeah. Against the very smooth, precise
martial arts style of fighting. Yeah.
And that one is great. The first punch on that is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. There's a couple of really nice fight scenes like that where there is a juxtaposition of like fight styles, because you very much do. There's the three kind of main fight styles. You've got your brawlers, there's your martial artists, and then there's the kind of acrobatic fighting styles that you get heavily throughout this film. Capoeira and then even just straight acrobatics.
Yeah. And that fight scene, that's one of the few times I've seen acrobatics used in a fight scene where it made sense, because they are all flipping around him as a disorientation tactic, with then punches coming from out of nowhere, because not every person is going for them. They're all distracting him and taking. It's like if you watch any sort of pack hunter taking down something where they hound it and they nip it and they just wear it away constantly without one of them taking the full brunt, and they just jab and poke and stab and until he gives up, and they're all fine. They're all like
more or less fine. And
a couple of them he manages to flatten.
And
one or two of them are out cold.
The red suits are all swordsman, so that's where you get all your sword play. And then obviously anything to do with the drifter is just fists flying. And then the woodcutter has these big ass axes. Yes.
Oh, and I think he's a little bit unfair, because every other weapon that they use, it's all close quarters. Yeah,
we see one arrow get shot, but that's as a signal to like start an attack.
Yeah. Whereas the woodsman, it's the one thing, he's the only person who does it, is he throws it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought.
He's the only one who has almost like a distance weapon.
Oh yeah, I kind of bitched him out for the fight at the end, because it's a cheap shot.
It is a cheap shot. When he turns around, he just hurls it at him.
The second that the opponent walks into the room, he turns and fires an axe. And at the very start, when we're introduced to him,
and he
a guy's running at him
in the cape with the I'm sorry, that hat.
Yeah,
the hat deserves a rant all of its own. It's fucking magnificent. Whoever designed it,
the giant straw hat,
because it's almost always in shadow and this insane profile. It's just it doesn't matter who's under the getup, and there is a conversation about that later on when he's like, I was just a man and I needed this.
Yeah, men age costumes don't.
And it is this grossly oversized, over-stylized with the big peak at the front.
But yeah, when he shows up at the start and he throws the axe at that guy, well, aside from the fact that the guy doesn't even try and block at all.
No.
It is everybody
else. He's running straight at it. He had time to duck.
Everybody, and nobody even throws rocks or anything in this film. He's the only person person who throws anything, and it is kind of, it's like, cheap shot, guy.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder nobody's ever defeated you when you just fucking axe straight at their head before they have a chance to do anything else.
And you live on the top of a mountain. Like, he literally lives in one of those insane, you know, when you see those pictures of, like, Buddhist shrines up the tops of mountains that are just perched on them.
Yeah.
That's what he lives in.
Yeah, and he's got a camp full of his red suit soldiers.
Like, at the bottom of the path, at the only, like, point of egress to his, like, fucking fortress.
Yeah.
He has a massive camp of soldiers and prostitutes.
Yeah, basically.
Because that's where the prostitutes are, too.
Yeah.
And then the town is further down and they cower in fear.
Yeah, and he keeps talking like he's some big warrior philosopher. And it's like, no, you're just a dude who chucks axes at the first available opportunity.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. But the plot's about the other thing we haven't really talked about. But it is very... The summary that I gave at the start is basically the plot.
Yeah.
Two dudes rock up into town and team up with a guy in the town to stop the bad guy out of the town. And that's it.
It is important to note that there are some extra characters that do come into play. So Yoshi actually has family in town. He has his uncle who's just uncle, and the cousin Momoko, who she's quite mouthy. She's actually quite fun.
She's a fun character.
She is.
She's a bit under-characterized in this.
They own a Japanese restaurant. They're obviously they pay their protection, yada, yada, yada. But because when he rocks into town, he stirs up shit, they take it out on the family.
Yeah, the uncle, there's parts of like the fights and stuff that he has with the uncle that I feel kind of just confuse Yoshi's very little motivation that he has in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, it would be enough for him to show up and be on this mission to get this medallion and the uncle to be pissed off at him because he's bringing shit down on him.
Yeah, he's fucking up their way alive.
But there's all the various arguments they have about honor and Jin and his father, and sometimes Yoshi seems like he hates his father and other times he's like defending him against the uncle, and I found it to be a bit muddy.
I felt like there was a lot more going on there in terms of Japanese culture that is completely lost on me, not being of that culture.
I don't know, to me it just, apart from the mention of like Jin, it was a lot of talk of honor.
Yeah.
I just found that there was too much there between him and the uncle.
Yeah.
That, as I said, if it was to be fleshed out, it would make it long.
Realistically, all he had to do was, in that first sequence, punch out the guy, which he does, and then have them retaliate, and that be the whole thing. That
could be the source of conflict between him and the uncle. Yeah, and towards the end, the uncle is like, oh, well, you know, you've come here and you've wrecked my home and you've wrecked my business. Why not lead my daughter astray into this path of violence as well?
Yeah.
Again, that can be enough conflict.
Yeah.
We didn't need any of this weird animosity between him and his dad and the mission that he was sending him on and the path that Yoshi was going down. It was all, to me, it just landed flat.
Yeah. I honestly, like, there's bits of this movie I tune out, and that tends to be what it is.
Yep.
I could just be like, oh, okay, phone break, la 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 la. And then I'll tune back in for something else and be like, oh, okay. Because you can't do that with this, and it doesn't actually affect your overall enjoyment of the story. Like, it's, you know, it's a subplot. You need to know that at some stage he's going to have to go and rescue her because his actions have repercussions. He has to rescue her. That's all you really need to know. You don't, like, all the shit, like, especially because you don't actually get any resolution of his conflict with the uncle, realistically.
Well, no, the uncle dies.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like...
But, yeah, the kind of, the subplots in this suffer from a lack of development, but it's already 2 hours long. So this is one of those things that I think maybe could have benefited from being a 4 or 5 episode miniseries.
Yeah.
You could then have had more stuff to do with the bartender and his lost love and
more
Yoshi and his family drama.
Really get to see any of those killers.
Yeah, and you could have had more...
The actual world that this exists in, because as we find out later on, there's actually like a guerrilla army operating as well.
Yeah, I feel like that gets thrown in very much late towards the end.
The really, really unnecessary montage, because there's got to be a montage.
There's got to be a montage.
And this is the montage, and this is the music for the montage.
Yeah, the resistance-y stuff.
It is the resist-y
gets thrown.
And the general.
I do feel like it very much gets thrown in at the end, just so they could have a big battle scene. And the big battle scene is fun, but yeah, it does kind of feel tacked on. But if it were a miniseries, you could have worked in these elements earlier on in a miniseries. Like, and you could have had the killers fleshed out more and be like the bad guy at the end of each episode being different killers kind of thing.
Yeah. Because you do get kind of an idea, like in that first fight sequence where the woodman is being challenged in the courtyard, and he doesn't, you can challenge him directly, but he'll send one of his killers to go and deal with you.
Yeah.
And if you beat them, then you can have a go at him.
Yeah.
You've got the People's Liberation Front, because that's what I'm going to call them now.
Yeah.
Because I can't say that other word today. They're on the roof watching it, so like they've already been brought in early on, but then there's no mention of them after that.
Yeah, they're brought in there at the start.
Like, so
there's
if they've been
scene,
if they've been kind of more present in the background,
it
wouldn't be as shocking when they're brought in later on.
There's one scene where they're like taking the red suits take away somebody who's running for some position, like they're a candidate.
Yeah.
And you can see that they're kind of controlling the elections, and there is a little bit of the proletariat guys there. And you see some posters throughout it as well. But yeah, it's kind of there a little bit at the start, and then at the end they're like, oh shit, we forgot about these guys and we need them for our battle scene.
Yeah.
Quick, let's throw in this and then throw in the montage.
I really dislike that montage. It's probably the thing I hate the most out of the film is that fucking montage.
Yeah.
It really bothers me, and I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on why it bothers me, but it does.
One of the funniest bits in that, or sorry, not in the montage, just in the film for me, was when Killer Number 2 is going on about how his men are dropping like flies and they don't seem to be doing anything about it.
He's the one killing them!
At that point, yeah, he's killed more of his own men than
Poor
any of the...
Eddie! All he told Eddie was that he was going to take his eye, not stab him through the brain.
But yeah, he slits the throat of like 6 or 8 red suit guys, and then goes to his boss and is like, our men are dropping like flies. Like, yeah, because you keep fucking killing them.
We need to do like a little like side hub and collect our favourite villains like that, because Soul and Doomsday is very, very similar. Like,
yeah, Saul and Doomsday, Killer Number 2...
Like, the ones that are just, like, taking out their own guys for shits and giggles. And it's like, stop it. You keep killing them.
Yeah, no wonder they're dropping like flies.
Fucking Thingy last week in Ravenous, he was eating his own people.
Well, yeah, that was kind of different, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, that bit just cracked me up, where he's like, no, everybody dies, because you keep fucking killing them, man.
Yeah, because, like, Yoshi didn't kill anybody until, like...
Yeah, he beat the shit out of a load of guys.
Yeah, but he didn't kill them. Like, they were still breathing. Like, and even he didn't... Killer Number 2 doesn't even kill anybody in that first fight sequence. He never unsheathes the cane.
No, so he tells... Well, sorry, he is responsible for the... Well, not even him. It's because it's the woodcutter who says to kill all the other guys.
Yeah. That actually is lovely, because all the guys are all lying on the ground after Killer Number 2's gone through and, like... hang
on. Thinking back about this now.
He soundly humiliated them all, and then as the rest of them move forward, they all take a position over one of the guys with the sword.
Yeah.
And when he gives the signal to kill them all, they all just go straight in for the stab and
twist.
But
that's what I'm thinking about. And the main guy gets an axe fucked in his head and doesn't dodge it in that fight.
Yeah.
And
it's a bit stupid.
I think that the only person that Killer Number 2 kills that isn't one of his own men is the uncle.
Yeah.
I think literally everybody else he kills in this movie is his own men.
Yeah, he always gives a signal to somebody else to do it.
Yeah, he gives signals for other people to be killed, or he has fights that don't end in, deaths.
Yeah, he doesn't have to.
He only kills one innocent person, and everybody else he kills is his own men in the whole movie. I hadn't spotted that before.
Yeah, he's just busy killing everybody.
Yeah, damn, that's funny. That's even funnier than I thought it was.
Yeah, like he's got a real hard on for killing other people, for killing his own people.
But if we were to talk best bits, worst bits, for us that we enjoyed in the film?
Obviously for me, worst bit is a fucking montage at the end. And it is literally just that I think part of it at this stage is it is a long movie.
It's longer than it needs to be, yeah.
It's longer than it needs to be. And it's just 3 or 4 minutes of unnecessary.
Yeah, I think it is.
It wasn't
that's where it feels like it drags is towards the end.
Because you've got they're going to get this thing and it's all good, and then it's like, oh wait, we're going to have a montage, and then it slows down again after that.
Yeah, the pacing towards the end
it gets a bit like, it
does suffer from the pacing.
Gear.
yeah, that's not great. That would probably be one of my
it is. That would be a big con for me, is the fact that it is a very long film.
I wouldn't say it's not super long. Like, I don't feel like it drags the whole way through. I have watched worse.
If there are certain bits, like all the shit that's like between Yoshi and his family, that I tend to lose interest in, and then it can be once that's over with, it's okay, I can get back into it. Sorry, we've a cat going mental. But yeah, the bits with Yoshi's family I find can be very draggy.
Yeah, they can. Apart from the very first scene where there's a fight at the end of it in the restaurant.
Which is really fun.
I don't much care for the uncle, and I don't much care for his cousin. And I'd kind of...
Could do without it.
Yeah, we could probably have done without it. Maybe it was just to have him a bit, because we already have one drifter who we know nothing about until the very, very end. We find out exactly what his motivation is.
Yeah.
And the bartender is, again, he doesn't have any family or anything like that, so maybe it was just to give
And even his piano player leaves him.
Yes, even his piano player leaves him.
That's actually hilarious when he walks into the bar, when the drifter walks into the bar for the first time, and the piano player is playing something like incredibly morose.
Yeah.
And the bartender turns around and just lamps a lemon at him and beans him right in the head, and he just switches back into that kind of old-timey, like atypical happy western piano music.
Or when Yoshi first comes into the bar and asks for a whiskey, and the bartender says, "What kind?" Yoshi says, "Any kind."
Oh, and he climbs all the way
He
up to the
very
top.
slowly climbs to the top shelf and takes this crystal bottle down.
And he's holding it with both hands.
Yeah, pours a tiny little shot, and a literal drop falls onto the counter, and he
licks
that drop. Well, puts it on his finger and
in
licks
fairness,
it off.
We both worked as bartenders over the
Oh yeah,
years.
if somebody says any kind of
whiskey, you go, and they
go for
look
the top
like
shelf.
they can afford it, you go for the top shelf stuff.
Yep.
I nearly got fired once after selling a whole bottle of extremely rare whiskey to two very drunk Americans.
Because now he was going to have to go through the hassle of
Reordering
reordering it.
Yeah. It was a nice bottle of whiskey though.
But yeah, no, there's some great little just small fun bits like that just little bits of comedy.
There is a good bit of humour in it.
But I think if the shitty montage towards the end and the pacing were kind of towards the worst end of things that I didn't enjoy, I really enjoyed, well, Woody Harrelson. I always enjoy Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
It's great. Woody is great in this.
Woody's great in everything. I honestly just think they just let him just go off on these little diatribes that he goes on.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him being interviewed and it's very similar.
Yeah. I love the whole gunslinger without a gun and samurai without a sword aspect is just, I don't know why that just gets me, but I really like that.
It's a very fun film.
No, it is. It's very fun, and we kind of said it at the start. It's not an Oscar winner. It's not like
it should be for Sex's production design.
Yeah, in terms of plot and character and script.
Like, in fairness, if fucking Suicide Squad, if that fucking shitty Suicide Squad film can win for fucking makeup
yeah,
over Star Trek Beyond, thank you very much. I'm like, just This should have at least gotten a nod at least in the production side of things.
Oh, definitely. Like, and if you hit the nail on the head at the start. If you watch that opening bit, and if you don't like the style of the opening bit, you're probably not going to like the rest of the film, because outside of the style and the visuals, there's not a whole lot else to grab onto apart from the action and the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Because you can't really get your teeth into the characters
and
or the
then
plot.
You get Mike Patton.
I know, yeah, Mike
interjecting
Patton,
as the
Mike
narrator.
Patton as the narrator is great fun.
Yeah.
And I think he does. There are bits of it where Mike Patton's narration is just like, oh yeah, remember, this is just a story about some dude duking it out.
Yeah.
Never mind what the fucking woodcutter is saying, never mind what the director thinks. This is just a story about some dudes fighting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love Mike Patton's narration in this.
Yeah, well, that was kind of like honestly, this movie was found through trawling IMDb.
Yeah, and
being like, ooh, what have you been in? Ooh, what have you been in? Ooh, I wonder what you've been doing in a while.
Yeah, with Ron Perlman, Kevin McKidd, and Mike Patton as narrator,
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson as some bartender, we were like, yeah, this is definitely worth a shot.
Yeah.
And we think we found it streaming somewhere and watched it and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I said, fuck Metacritic, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. I really enjoyed it. Watch it for yourself
Yeah.
to make your mind up if it
you're,
sounds like something you'd
you're the
like.
type of person who enjoys either westerns or martial arts movies as well, this will tickle your fancy. It's a nice mix.
Yeah, no, I do. Unless you're like a complete film snob and can't enjoy films that don't, that aren't written perfectly and don't have really deep characters.
Because this has none of that.
Yeah, I think unless you're a film snob like that, there is a little bit of something for everybody in this film.
Yeah, it is. It's a really, really enjoyable film.
Yeah, now I know we did plenty of shitting on this as well, but with the rating it has, obviously it's not a perfect film. But
No.
we never said we were going to talk about perfect films. We just said we were going to talk about films that we love. And
We're
we love this film.
currently one DVD has been located.
Yeah, we really want to cover Doomsday, but we have a special edition of it with like an awesome booklet with loads of info. And
They've got massive making of behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, I don't want to do a Doomsday episode until we've like
and
researched
Extraordinary is on its way. I had to go and buy a copy of it because it's been taken down off every streaming service around, which is a shame because
this is why physical media matters.
It's peak Irish comedy. It's if you remember Father Ted and found it funny, get your hands.
There's a few Irish films.
Extraordinary. Whenever that arrives, we'll be covering it. I'm currently waiting on it.
Yeah, there's a few Irish films that we really want to cover. Well, mostly Irish comedies that we really want to cover, and Extraordinary is one of them. That was 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, it just
great little flick, and a comedy. We will eventually cover a comedy. I know we keep saying that,
but
we were just like. Yeah. We were deciding what to cover, and we had a couple of comedies in mind, and then we saw Bunraku, and we're like, will we do Bunraku?
We'll do Bunraku.
Let's do Bunraku. And if we agree on something quickly, it's best to just go with it.
We have, roughly
700 DVDs,
at
probably.
This point.
And that's physical copy DVDs, not on hard drives and stuff.
Yeah, which involves a lot of fighting, and the room we store them in is due to be renovated. So they're not even in fucking order.
Yeah, so when we find something and we agree on it, we do it. So hopefully we'll agree on something for next week.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, hey, yeah, maybe we'll do a comedy, because I know we won't. But
yeah, no, we'll probably find something else.
But why break a pattern?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We watch a lot of horror. We watch horror and we watch funny shit, and we don't seem to, and comic books, and that seems to be it.
Well, plus I think there's an element of comedy films that can be that little bit harder to talk about if you're not just saying, hey, this bit was funny and this bit was funny.
What? If anybody wants me to make you sit down and watch Dangerous Liaisons.
Oh, you just want me to watch something that you know I will fucking hate?
I don't think you'll hate it, but I think it'll give you good rant fodder. You'll probably hate it, especially for Keanu Reeves' really bad period accent.
Can't be worse than fucking Dracula, can it?
This was pre-Dracula.
But is it worse?
It's interesting. It's basically Jonathan Harker, but he's still a bit Valley Boy.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because he's like, hark, what window? It's very, very that.
I say it to thee. Whoa.
Yeah, basically. Tits. Because he gets it really young. There's a really, really young Uma Thurman in it. Like, she's only like 14 or 15 in it.
I don't need a breakdown of it now. You might eventually get me to watch that.
Yeah.
But we will be back next week with our usual undecided film. We're bad at this. We're bad at planning ahead. But we're good at uploading weekly.
Yeah,
so,
we've that going for us.
At least we're consistent in our inconsistency.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll be back next week. And in the meantime, you can check out our first 3 episodes if you haven't already, or you can head over to MonoRants The Boys and hear us waffle on about every episode of Amazon's The Boys. You can chat with us on Twitter at rantsmono, or you can send us an email at monorantspodcast@gmail.com. Catch you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are MonoRants.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Sci-Fi.